and really found that helping course creators, because that's kind of this new renaissance right now and this kind of real uptick in creating courses and having digital products and selling knowledge.
This episode is brought to you by Portfolio Box, an online portfolio made by creatives for creatives.
The greatest fear you face is yourself, because we all have dreams, and it's very scary sometimes to accept the dream that you have, and it's scarier still to say, okay, I want that. It's scary because you're afraid that if you put your heart and soul into it and you fail, then how are you going to feel about yourself, right? So being fearless means putting yourself out there and going for it. No matter what, go for it. Not for anybody else, but for yourself.
Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you guys are having an amazing start to the year. I'm your host, Rodrigo. Have you ever wondered on starting that online course or don't know how to get around it? Well, today I'm joined by online course creator coach and filmmaker Noah Mittman out of Colorado, and he's going to guide you through a step-by-step process on how to get started and some of the things you need to look out for. That and much more. Stay locked in. All right, well, today on the podcast, I have the pleasure and I am joined today by Noah Mittman. He is a filmmaker and founder and CEO of the Snowman Films. Welcome.
Thank you.
Noah, now you are, you're a filmmaker, but you have a particular niche that you're kind of concentrated on. Now,
I do.
I want to dive into a little bit of that, but before we get into, the good stuff, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, let's see. I've been a filmmaker for 16 years now. Started in high school with watching the behind the scenes for The Matrix and just kind of fell in love and was, thought that would be the coolest job ever. And I've been able to press record for a living for a solid, 2012 is when I founded the company. So 13 years. Or no, hold up. Not 13, freaking math.
Oh, you know what? It's funny because around that time, that's kind of when I kind of found my kind of way into this kind of industry a little bit. So we kind of started on the same year. That's when I graduated college in 2012.
No way. Yeah. So yeah, because I was in film school at CU Denver, and what happened was my the college money ran out essentially, so I haven't graduated, but I don't need to at this point. I'm been in it for a while, but yeah, no, I got out of film school and I was kind of looking. I was like, okay, I want to chase down the freelance thing and creating for a living, and I'd been making parkour videos for, the solid last 10 years. I started in 2006, 2007 with that. That was what got me into it was parkour kind of stuff. And, I was on a shoot for a parkour video and my buddy Brian goes hey, you're good enough at this to do it professionally. And I was like, oh, that's an idea. So went home that night, spent $50 on the internet to get an LLC, and Snowman Films was born. And my first real gig was I went to Nashville from Denver to film a Bass Nectar New Year's Eve concert for the performers that were in the crowd and stuff, the creatures that were at Bass Nectar shows, and got $200 and a trip to Nashville, and got a wedding a couple months after that, and kind of that's what began it. And then really focused on, I did freelance for quite a few years. And then 2018, 2019, my son was born in 2017, and early. And I just was okay, I the freelance is fun, but it's not consistent.
Yeah, of
it's
course.
Highs and lows very much. And even when it's good, work is good, there's a lot of, you don't have any balance in your life. You're always working if you're busy.
Exactly.
And so I kind of went after the video marketing for local companies and entrepreneurs and small businesses, and kind of made a subscription program for that. and that did well for a couple years. And then COVID hit, and that kind of fell apart because of the lockdown
Yeah.
and the first lockdown. So needed to move online, and really found that helping course creators, because that's kind of this new renaissance right now, and this kind of real uptick in creating courses and having digital products and selling knowledge.
I
Huh?
I love that word. The
Exactly.
renaissance of pretty much like remote online. That's like the perfect way to like it's a birth, right? And that's something I wanted to kind of dive into also, because being that now you're kind of tackling this online course
Yeah.
new venture of yours, right? This whole pandemic kind of launched this for you, correct? Like it
Yeah,
kind of
definitely
created
did.
this. It
I'd
created
been
this new
I'd
world.
been like a fan. I've been looking at online courses for a few years. I've been following ClickFunnels for like 5 years or so. But yeah, I just was kind of waiting for the right time to
Mhm.
jump into it. And that, as soon as uh everything else kind of came to a halt and lockdown happened, I was like, well, I need to continue creating and not just like freeze like everybody else is doing right now. And just jumped in and started making stuff. Of course,
Yeah.
my first attempt at it didn't work, but then I found my way, and here we go. I'm really at this point, the specialty that I'm really focusing on is coaching course creators, or doing done for you, so I can edit their videos and stuff. But really helping people along the entire process, because obviously that I can specialize in helping them film and edit and stuff, but I've really given myself an education in, I call it kind of the four
Mhm.
phases of course creation, which is phase one is market research, phase two is content, phase three is technology, and phase four is promotion.
Okay, okay. So let's talk about that a little bit. So it looks like you already got it right, breaking down to four phases, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's kind of reverse back a little bit. Now, how do people reach out to you as far as like being their coach, or are they kind of like, for example, like myself, right? If I'm looking to create a course that revolves around selling a product for a brand or a client, how would I go about to contacting you, or how does that work?
Yeah, totally. So Facebook is really where I'm spending a lot of time.
Okay.
Facebook groups is super, super powerful for being able to, because so the whole thing starts when you want to make a course with, who is your ideal client and what do they need help with.
Hmm.
So that's so the market research stuff. So if you can find, either on Facebook, which is really where it's happening, or maybe even Reddit, something like that, with a community of, your ideal customers. So for me, my ideal customers are course creators or aspiring course creators.
Yeah.
Go find those groups and get active in them and ask questions and see what they need. Hey, like throw out ideas and see what people want to improve or need help with, or just kind of get that conversation going. And for me, I mean, if you want to reach out, I'm Noah Mittman on Facebook, and my personal Facebook group is stop waiting and start creating your course. So that is kind of the good place to start. And again, it's does is there the reason I say market research is, to have a successful course, there needs to be a market for what you are making and what you're the idea that you have. So the best way to research that market is to ask your ideal customers. And if you don't know who your ideal customers are, that's definitely something to find out. And basically, it's just based off of what expertise do you have and what do you like teaching or doing that
Hmm.
people are wanting help with. And so for me, I know my ideal customer is kind of a first time course creating 35 to 55-year-old solopreneur.
All right. So like Facebook is kind of like the hot thing, because I found that as far as also podcasting, a lot of people have different, you know, expertise in, and that's kind of where sometimes if I'm looking for somebody that is expert in, I don't know, yoga or meditation, right?
Yep,
Facebook is like the first place I go to, because that's where,
absolutely.
like that's what you said, right? That's where they're at. And for
There's
me,
just hundreds of thousands of groups. It's crazy the amount of like you can get. Say it's yoga. I mean, just search yoga in the like group search, and just, I mean, there's tons of them.
yeah. So your first phase to this that you call it your four phases is market research, correct?
Yep,
So what's the
absolutely.
second one?
Yeah, second one is content. So once you have once you understand who your ideal customer is and what you can do to help them, which is, really, if you have a post where you ask a question and it gets a ton of responses because people are like, oh my God, I need help with that. Then, you have something, you can kind of move forward with that. Content is actually creating the content for the course. So it's your structuring and your writing and your filming and your editing and your putting together of, worksheets and just the creation of the content, not marketing, but the content itself.
Yeah, yeah. And what do you find where people or some of your members are like, what's a common question that they're always asking you
I mean,
in
that one
regards to content?
is yeah, totally. I mean, you got the tech overwhelm I believe that, as I know you do because you're a filmmaker, that video is the most powerful way to deliver a message. So
Yeah.
I put, if people are comfortable with it, and it's something I coach them through too, is, getting your course to be a video course, getting yourself on camera, getting your, lighting and framing and audio and everything with production to be as professional as possible and look as good as possible, which is possible to do from your house with your phone. Because essentially, if your phone is $1,000 camera, that's why you paid so much for it. Unless you want to spend more than that, I would just say get started and use your phone, and you can always improve as you go. But yeah, I mean, it's creating the content and making yourself look professional and making sure your students can hear you. Like your audio, I would say audio is probably the
Yeah.
biggest, like, between people that do it really right and people that are more beginners. Audio is definitely, if you're in an echoey room or you're not using a mic, or even just a whole variety of things, not being able to hear yourself clearly is a big issue. So audio is something that you need to be able to understand and know how to make work. And then it's from there, you have your files and your the PDFs that you've worked on or whatever, maybe through canva.com, and you go into technology, which is getting your course and your content uploaded onto a hosting platform. I like to use Thinkific because you get 3 courses for free, which is a really cool way to start. It's not, it's very cost effective. And you build a funnel.
What's that called again?
Thinkific. Thinkific is great if you
Thinkific,
are starting out. What's cool is that it's free and like for 3 courses. And of course they know the course creators make a bunch of courses generally. So your first 3 are free, and then you can kind of stay with them after, it's just it's a really smooth experience for your students. It is a course platform natively. So the lessons and the modules and like downloads, it's all very easy to find and easy to use, which is important, rather than just trying to do it off like a website or something. And then you build the funnel that drives people to it, which is also technology. and honestly, I think that's where a lot of people need a lot of help is they get tech overwhelmed by thinking about all that stuff, which I totally get. It's all of these websites are hard to figure out, and I'm tech savvy and I still had a hard time learning them, and I know them now, which is great. I can create stuff pretty quick, but man, if you face that down and you have no idea what you're doing and you have no real good tutorials to go off of, because there's not really that much on YouTube. The One Funnel Away challenge has some good stuff, but it's hard. So having that guide as you go through that will just save you so much headbanging against the wall. It's crazy.
I feel like the word funnel scares a lot of people, click funnels, and it's like, oh man, I gotta do work, right? So, but I mean,
this is work for sure. I feel it's always work, right? Like anything you want to do is work, but it's at least moving you forward. My whole goal with this coaching thing that I'm doing, and even like the done for you services, is I want people to be able to get the idea that's in their head out of their head and onto paper, and then onto the internet, and actually make a difference, and not just have a dream, but have like an actual thing that they can impact people with and make money on.
No, that's definitely kind of like the goal, especially this past year, and so on. As far as everyone, we're trying to, myself included, we're creating this new kind of category within filmmaking, and it's being a self entrepreneur, and
Yeah.
how can you use it regardless of the type of filmmaking you do, right? If you're making movies or you're selling courses online, right? You
It's
gotta
creating. It's all creating.
at some point, you gotta be able to make money
Right.
in your sleep, right? So I mean, that's kind of
Well,
at the end
that's
of
the
the day.
dream, right? Like
Yeah,
that's that, I know so many friends that are doing great in freelance, but doing great in freelance means that you work like 60 days straight.
yeah,
And a lot of times that'll break up families or break up relationships. Like it's a crazy amount of work. So I think that entrepreneur, because when I was in freelance, I remember, I mean, I still am doing some, but a lot of it back in the day was getting work from other filmmakers, getting
yeah,
work from other production companies that need help. Versus this is really putting that entrepreneur hat on and figuring out your personal like area and niche in the market that you can really help with, and going from there. And it's really kind of it feels like a solo journey, whereas filmmaking is very much a team sport. The entrepreneur thing is the mixture of it you really need to be able to succeed, but it's not an easy road for sure.
yeah. And when it comes to the type of courses that you offer, as far as like, do people have like one-on-one meetings with you, or how do you establish like your methods, or do you just have like do you have your own like on your group, you said, right? You have
Yep,
a
exactly. It's all funnel, right? So everything. The word I like to use the word funnel kind of broadly, just because funnel means you're taking people from not from cold leads to warm leads to potentially like customers. So my group is great, because it's linked. My entire Facebook profile, my personal profile, like funnels you, points you. Essentially, it's pointing people to something is what a
yeah,
funnel is. So that points them to my group, which, if they choose to give me their email address for I have a lead magnet that is 4 simple steps to go from nervous to natural on camera. And they, if they're interested in that, then they get their email. And yeah, on Facebook, a lot of times with the commenting, I'm just, asking questions of people to see where they're at in the process. Once I know they're course creators, and if they have a question that I can answer, I'll answer it for them in as much as I can in a comment. And then I'll be like, hey, do you want to hop on a free 30-minute consultation call? And then from there, I, help them as much as I can on the call and tell them what I do and give them pricing at the end, and rinse and repeat and then I just closed my first coaching client like last week, and it's starting to go. And it's interesting because I'm sure with by the way, how are you doing with the whole COVID thing with being a filmmaker? Are you how's it affecting your business?
yeah. So I'm all over the place because I mean, obviously, you have to have your meat and potatoes, right? Your main kind of what's bringing in the money, right? So I've been lucky and fortunate enough to be working remotely from my job. We do kind of like marketing and corporate videos. So I've been kind of doing that
Yeah,
since the start, right? But on the side, I've been also doing my own projects. Like, I shot a documentary last year. I shot a short action film last year.
nice.
Submitting them to film festivals.
Okay, cool. So you're working for kind of a bigger company for like the day job, but still video, and then you have your passion projects on the side.
Yeah, I have my own company, my own branding consulting company. I started this podcast last year, so like you got to kind of have like different directions, because you never
Yeah.
know, right? So
Absolutely. No, that's great. I mean, that's awesome that you're staying busy. That's incredible. And that's exactly right. It's, being able to still chase down your passion in a way that excites you when times are tough. And that's been I think the pivot for me is that I really, I found that I mean, obviously really good, and I've done professional production for a long time, but I really enjoy coaching. I really love like bringing somebody through a process and seeing them get results, and knowing that I impacted somebody else, and the fact that I can, get paid for that from just, talking to somebody through something is really, really cool. And I can do it remotely because I have, my wife works in carpentry with her dad. Yeah, like a couple days, 5 days a week if they're busy, if not slightly less. So I have, the kids a lot of the time. Not so we have, grandma help and stuff, which is great. But I'm still, I can't be out doing 12-hour days on production right now, because I
Yeah.
have, the kids' schedules to think about. So being able to work remotely and, come in and just chat with people from my laptop and make money that way has just been huge right now. And then, obviously doing some remote editing too is awesome. And it's working. We're surviving, really.
No, and that's kind of, I mean, I've been lucky enough, I have 3 kids myself,
Yeah, the struggle.
yeah, so I mean, but I've been lucky enough that, my wife's schedule, she kind of works with my schedule, and but
Yeah,
if anything, you know like my oldest is 8 years old, and my youngest he's gonna be 3. So I mean, it's kind of finding that balance, right? And
oh yeah,
that's another thing, right? When it comes to, when you're doing, if you're doing indie work, or freelance work like yourself, right? Like, how do you balance your work with family, right? And then
yeah.
and the in between, right? How do you, for you, how do you manage kind of that, you know family time and then business time, right?
I'll tell you, this is something that I'm constantly working to improve. Because when you follow your passion, it's hard to turn work brain off.
Yeah.
Um, so step one for me was taking weekends for family. So I will either, pass if there's a weekend job that comes up, I'll either talk to my wife about it, be like, hey, this is just one week, it's one day, and if
Yeah.
we're short on cash or something, I can maybe able to take it. But if we're good and we have something planned, I will turn down that job, or I will, give it to a freelancer friend and take a finder's fee. And, I really am strict about that. Weekends are for family, and pretty much everybody gets that.
Yeah.
If they are not too work obsessed, if and if they're like, oh well, that doesn't work, then I know that they're not going to be great to work with, because they don't understand the family thing, which doesn't work for me. That was step one, is weekends are for family. So, and then, off of that, I try and stop working, if I can. Sometimes I'll take a random, consultation call if it's leading to more money, but I try to stop working about 5 p.m. each day. So that turns into family time, and, I'm there, I can be present. And newly, I've realized that being on social media and Facebook so much, I've kind of, as we all are, a little bit addicted to my phone. So
Yeah, that's something I've been trying to work on myself, man. Because sometimes it's like you get those notifications, but I at this point I turn off all my notifications from every single social
Yep.
media app and emails at some point, because yeah.
Well, and my problem was that when it was next to me, your gut reaction when you have even a, 10 seconds of something not happening is you go to your
Yeah.
phone. So for me at home, my office is downstairs. It's in the basement. So when we get home, and if I'm just like, okay, I'm done with work, I literally put my phone on charge in my office downstairs, and it's not even near me, which is really, it's been nice to, be more present. And, yes, I'm technically not working, but my mind would still, if I got a text or something, I'd want to go check it. Cause I would even, I had it up in the bedroom, and it's not healthy at that point for me. And some people can handle it. I couldn't. So, removing that and putting it downstairs when I'm not working has helped a lot with compartmentalizing and really being present in the moment. And, just having true family time.
That's awesome, man. And that's always, for all of us, it's always going to be a work in progress, right? So,
Yeah.
hey, are you a photographer, designer, artist, architect, model, musician, or even a makeup artist? You got to check out Portfolio Box. With Portfolio Box, you're not forced to use any standard theme. You can use any style for any page and create a truly unique website that reflects you and your work. If you're a creative, it's a no-brainer. Get 50% off for 12 months on all plans with promo code ROD50. That's promo code ROD50. And check out portfoliobox.net today. Now, when it comes to, all the tools, that we have in our pocket, this being social media, what's your strategy as far as, you kind of talked a little bit about Facebook, but are there any other apps that you kind of are using as far as, getting those kind of
Yeah.
maybe those alerts or sending out like new content that you have? What's a app that you're using nowadays, that that's helping you out?
Yeah, totally. There's a few. So obviously, Facebook groups is great. The way that I do my podcast and I go live, and even just for small content, is I use StreamYard.com, and it
Mm,
allows I'm able to go live on. I go live to my Facebook personal profile, my business page, my group on LinkedIn, and on YouTube all at the same time.
oh wow.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it records video, so I'm able to just send, you know, once that audio is recorded, I send that over to my virtual assistant, and they put the episode together and put it out for me, which is great. Calendly has been my life because it allows you to set your schedule of times you're available, and then you don't. It basically you have your schedule. You send that link to whoever wants to do a meeting with you, and they can choose a time that they're open, so you don't have to send those 5 emails every time of like when you're free to get meetings scheduled. That thing is Calendly is absolutely fantastic. I use Active Campaign for email automation. Basically when I gather emails from
Mm,
my, one of my membership questions for my group, I put them in onto a list, and I have a, automated 6 email welcome sequence that they automatically get every time I enter a new email on the list, which
nice.
is great. Let's see what else.
And that's something I need to work on too. I need to start organizing like my emails as far
Do
as
you have an email list yet?
you know what, I had a couple years ago, and
Yeah.
it's something where I just need to work on like
Yeah, man.
organizing
It's
them.
working like anything else, right? But the concept that that hit home for me on emails was it's an email. When you have an email address, that's traffic that you own. That's, your contact, that. Because like social media, like today is a perfect example. I had a post in a group that blew up, got like 250 comments. So I was going through and like commenting back on every single one of those because those are all leads for me.
Yeah.
Um, Facebook decided that I was commenting too fast and has restricted my account for a little while for commenting,
Oh
which
my
is
God. Yeah.
fucking terrible and pisses me off. But
I hate
it's
that because
I'm not in control,
Instagram
right?
does.
It's traffic I
Yeah.
don't control. That's Facebook's traffic. Until I get an email address and can send them an email a day if I want to, that's not my traffic. So your email address, if all the other stuff went down for some reason, that's still your list is your gold. And now it's not very big. I think I have like let me check what I have right now on it. I think it's at like 300. I've been growing it for like 6 months.
Yeah. That's something I definitely need to concentrate on this year.
312. So I just started it. I not super long ago, and it's growing, but I know that those are real people that, have chosen to come into my world based off of whatever, incentive that I gave them, and are real people. It's that's traffic you control. So the email, especially when you get into the big numbers, like thousands or tens of thousands, that's where you can, post a new promotion and make like 10 grand just with like
Yeah.
a webinar. Um, so your email list is super powerful. So I definitely would recommend. I mean, the way, yeah, again, so what I use for that is Active Campaign. Super, I user friendly in terms of what email lists are and automations are. It's still technical, but it's the easiest. Like I like it way more than Mailchimp.
Yeah.
And then
Now,
Canva, man, Canva for
oh,
designing titles and for like my all of my Facebook and LinkedIn cover photos and profile pictures are through Canva because I deliver information on that. I'd say just, try and get, it's all about the hook, all about what, when you're promoting yourself, this is, how can you be giving value at every, be asking questions and giving value, and B, like, how does your online presence look? Are you professional looking? Do you, look like a real person? Do you have your links up there so they can find you? And do you have a well-designed and cohesive look to you? Because that's definitely going to like sell people on you.
yeah, those are all good points. So if the audience, if you're like trying to look, at building your brand, Noah just brought up some interesting points like build a cohesive kind of identity. You got to sell yourself, and a lot of people, they're using like pretty much like for example stories, right? They're
Yeah,
you gotta put yourself out there, and that's something where it just brings that person
that's
out,
it.
right?
That's you just said it right there. You have to put yourself out there. Like
Yeah.
that is. I sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead. Nope. It's all right.
No, but like promotion, which is for me, phase 4 on the course creation, but really for anybody here. Do you know you're a filmmaker? Do you know, does Chase Jarvis ring a bell for you?
Chase Jarvis.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's a
not.
photographer and a YouTuber. He runs
Oh,
anyway.
man, yeah.
He has this great concept that I have borrowed from him, which is called the other 50% of work. So 50% of work when you're promoting, when you're trying to like sell something or do something, 50%. So you're making a video.
Mhm.
50% of the work is making it and hitting upload. Most people stop right there and go, oh, I like shared it once and like sent one email and like it didn't blow up. What the hell? That's because you did half of the work. The other 50% of the work with a video or with a short film or with your course is promoting yourself, going out into the community and talking to people and asking questions and building relationships and providing value and getting like the people that are able to just have those videos or their courses or whatever blow up immediately. It's because they've been doing the other 50% of the work for like 5 or 10 years already.
Yeah,
it is. And it sounds exhausting when you're not doing it, but
yeah.
That connection you have with people. And like, for me, to see a post get 250 comments because I just asked the right question in the right place. And now I have 5 new group requests, like member requests for my group off of one post. Like it's so cool to see it working when you put in the work, but you have to put in the work. You have to get out there and there's ways to do it that doesn't feel like just tooting your own horn. Like I always think of like, oh, I'm not like trying to promote myself. I'm just trying to give value and like really, see what people need help with and like be positive and be a positive presence, inspire people, motivate people, and help people. And then the people that are drawn to me from that, I have a way better connection with than just, the cold LinkedIn pitch email. That's that's just the worst. It's like 2 paragraphs about what your services are, and I don't even know you.
Yeah. That's a good point. You get those like, wait, who are you? Right. It's, you got to pretty much present yourself and, just be a person, be a human being.
Yeah, it's authentic marketing. It's exactly right. It's the human element. It's authentic. It's real. It's why we love TikTok so much, is because it's just real people and it's not like the Instagram filters. But if you can take be authentically you, that's why I love live so much and like podcasting is great. I love podcasting because it's content and networking at the exact same time. It's the most efficient use of time and building relationships ever. But yeah, put yourself out there in an authentic way, and the people that are going to connect with you, and the people that don't connect with you, you don't need as clients anyway.
No, yeah, it's all good points right there. And I feel like, I don't know, you probably heard of it, but something that will probably benefit you is Clubhouse. Have you heard of that?
I'm on it.
Yeah.
I haven't checked it out too much yet, but I got the invitation.
Yeah, I got an invitation as well because that's kind of like the hot ticket, but I'm still trying to get used to that. But I feel like that really benefit you.
I tried to look around in it and I don't know how to like find stuff. I need to watch a tutorial on it. Basically, I have it and I just haven't really, just because I'm putting so much time into Facebook right now and it's working to like get leads in that I have an Instagram, I have a TikTok, I have all the different things, but like I'm trying to think like what can I know that my ideal customer is in course creator Facebook groups. So putting the time and effort in there and that working to bring people. I mean, I'm booking like several consultation calls a day right now off of that. So it's working. So I definitely know there's other stuff, but like I think the other thing is, when you find something that is working, double down on it and really put energy into that, because otherwise it's what the classic Ron Swanson line from Parks and Rec. Don't half-ass multiple things, whole-ass one thing.
Yeah, that's true. If it's not broken, why fix it? So it's working.
And I can add to it for sure, but like if it takes away from, I just need a presence on here, but if I can find course creator communities on there, great. Like and I can answer questions about that. I just need to learn how to use it a little bit more. I'm down to put like half hour a day into it for sure.
No, yeah, and it's like I feel like 24 hours in a day, when how much of that time do we actually, it's not enough time, right? So
No.
it's just kind of like you got to really dissect your time and your schedule, and like, all right, I got 30 minutes to do this, I got 25 for this, so
Yeah.
it's
So that's one of the other reasons I love Calendly so much, is that if I'm not in charge of scheduling, I'll get back-to-back meetings for 4 hours straight, and I'm exhausted at the end of the day, but god damn did I get some stuff done. And I met with people, and I did real, like, not just busy work, but like talking with people and helping and getting those, coaching pitches out there, and, getting the follow-up meeting planned. And if I can do that, and it's, here's my thing, you're going to be, if you're working hard or staying busy, you're going to be exhausted at the end of the day, no matter what. Now, you can either be exhausted from, booking yourself solid and really moving forward and having a very efficient and very productive day, or you can be exhausted because you were slamming your head against the wall trying to stay busy and figure out, the next right step. So for me, getting booked, 4 hours in advance and I forget to eat, so I have a late lunch, that's a great day. I'm tired, but man, I really went after it.
no, yeah, and with all that, I feel like you're killing it, and I'm still like trying to find my way into your Facebook group too. So I'll
Yeah,
be
man,
kind of I'll
come
be
join the
check
party.
yeah, I'll be checking it out. And I mean, for anybody that's interested in kind of like, they're just like, they're not sure or how to get started on creating a course, can you just repeat how can people contact you, and what's like the best way as far as just to get started?
Yeah, totally. I would say the fastest way is come check out my Facebook profile, Noah Mittman, Mittman, and come join the Stop Waiting and Start Creating Your Course group. And once you've done that, message me, friend request me, because I get a lot of friend requests. And if I know that it's somebody that's pending on the group and I know they're a real person, I will more likely say yes. And come say, hey, I honestly, the fastest way is, you'll get in the group and get on the email list, and then post a question or something that you're, wondering about in the group. And it may take me a day or two potentially to get back to you, or I might be right on it, but I will definitely answer and connect and get in touch. Or, LinkedIn is great too. Come listen to the podcast. The podcast, my podcast is called Create Your Course. And that link is on my Facebook profile too. So just I make it real easy.
Perfect. Awesome, Noah. And, with all those, tidbits, I mean, I think, the audience will find it very useful. And, just, like if they have something interesting to that they've been thinking about or on the fence, it's, what a great way, and so
Exactly.
you guys know where to go.
Stop waiting and start creating, man.
There it is. Noah, thanks for stopping by the podcast, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been awesome.
All right, Noah, we'll catch you on the next one, and we'll definitely be seeing what's in store for, Noah in the 2021.
This is the big year. Here we go.
All right, Noah, have a good one.
You too.
And don't forget to subscribe and check out the latest episodes on the website. Follow us on social media at Hardwood Rod. And don't forget, every Tuesday we got the latest and greatest. So stay locked in. Would you like to be on the podcast? Got something to talk about? Make sure to head over to the website at hardwoodrod.com. Leave your name and the topic you'd like to discuss, and I'll add you to the calendar.
We just want our respect. Rob wants his respect. Coach Vogel wants his respect. Our organization wants their respect. Laker Nation wants their respect. And I want my damn respect too.